President fails to appear before corruption watchdog.
Now the details. Security and defense, infrastructure, health and education were some of the sectors with high allocation in the 47.9 trillion naira 2025 budget proposal presented by President Bola Tinubu before a joint session of the National Assembly on Wednesday. The budget is titled the Resurrection Budget. The President listed some of the highlights of the budget as defense and security 4.91 trillion naira, infrastructure 4.06 trillion naira, health 2.4 trillion naira, education 3.5 trillion naira, amongst others. He stressed that food security is non-negotiable, adding that the government is taking steps to ensure Nigerians no longer go to bed hungry. President Tinubu added that the 2025 budget is not just another statement of projected government revenue and expenditure, but one that calls for action. He acknowledged that the nation faces existential threats from corruption and insecurity, but noted that the challenges are surmountable if Nigerians work collaboratively.
Meanwhile, Senate President Godswill Akpabio has asked President Bola Tinubu to caution intransigent ministers in his cabinet who won't respond to invitations by the National Assembly. Senator Akpabio said such ministers have no place in President Tinubu's cabinet because they are not Democrats. The Senate President stated this on Wednesday when the President presented the 2025 budget estimates of 47.9 trillion naira before a joint session of the National Assembly. The Senate President further stressed the need for ministers and appointees of the President to respond promptly to requests by the National Assembly to provide necessary explanations regarding their stewardship. He warned that legislators have the constitutional powers to take action when political appointees refuse to honor summons by the red and green chambers.
The federal government has stated that it will establish a youth bank to offer loans, grants and other financial products to support young entrepreneurs. Minister of Youth Development Ayodele Olawande made this known at a media parley in Abuja. According to the minister, efforts are underway to have a Nigerian Youth Employment Action Plan to address the country's unemployment challenges. He said the establishment of a youth bank offers numerous benefits for young people and communities. Mr. Olawande added that his ministry also unveiled the Youth Activities Dashboard where activities and initiatives would be displayed.
The federal government says there is need to overhaul necessary regulations for milk extraction mechanisms and take inventory of the value chain. Minister of Livestock Development Alhaji Idi Meya said this in Abuja on Wednesday at the 2024 edition of the Continuing Education Program for Veterinary Professionals. Alhaji Meya called for strict enforcement of regulations as well as nationwide vaccination of animals. He assured all of government's commitment to expeditiously address issues of livestock migration, animal health, food and water, as well as breed improvement. The minister also commended the creation of ministries for livestock development in some states of the Federation.
The Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority, NCAA, has denied involvement in the alleged sale of Nigerian registered aircraft. The agency has in the meantime launched investigations into the claim. NCAA Director of Public Affairs and Consumer Protection, Michael Achimugu, made the refutal while featuring on a live program aired on a private television station. Mr. Achimugu dismissed the allegations as unfounded as he emphasized the need for thorough investigations. Reports from certain news platforms on Tuesday alleged that Nigerian registered aircraft have been sold without proper documentation. This was equal to reports about a controversial aircraft allegedly smuggled from Nigeria to Iran.
Over 12,000. This broadcast of Newscope comes to you from the Broadcasting Corporation of your state, Ibadan. Over 12,000 people across Oluyole State are to benefit from the Psychosocial Support Program for Vulnerable People organized by the Oluyole State Community and Social Development Agency, OYCSDA, under the Nigeria Community Action for Resilience and Economic Stimulus (NGCAS). The chairman of Oluyole State Community and Society Development Agency, OYCSDA, Honorable Abidin Adiaga, made this announcement at the official flagging off of the Psychosocial Support Program, which took place at a community hall in Alegongo, Ibadan. Our reporter, Oluyole has the details.
In response to support, Oluyole State Society Development Agency, OYCSDA, through the Nigerian Community Action for Resilience and Economic Stimulus (NGCAS), has officially commenced a psychosocial support program for vulnerable groups in Oluyole communities. The initiative focuses on improving the well-being of vulnerable individuals such as the widows, elderly, orphans, people with disabilities, and those affected by illness. The program, which was flagged off with the provision of foodstuffs and cash gifts to beneficiaries in Oluyole local government, is set to expand to 12,000 beneficiaries across communities in Oluyole State. In his remarks, Chairman, Oluyole State Community and Society Development Agency, OYCSDA, Honorable Abidin Adiaga, stressed that the program underscores the Oluyole State government's commitment to offering sustainable support to vulnerable individuals.
When you consider what we are able to achieve this year alone, we were able to to intervene in about 114 communities, and with that 114 is throughout the states. And we were able to do some about 251 micro projects. People should expect better. We're going to beat our past records.
In his remarks, the General Manager, OYCSDA, Mr. Jalil Salau, reaffirmed the commitment of the agency to care for the vulnerable groups in the state through interventions in critical sectors with micro projects.
As His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Oluyole State, determined to enhance the welfare of the populace of Oluyole State. So, and in line with the program of NGCAS, so that whatever we are going to use to support them in such a way that they will be able to participate fully in the implementation of the projects, utilization of the projects, maintenance and sustainability of the project within their communities.
The chairman, Oluyole local government, Honorable Mudashiru Kamorudin, commended the efforts of the Oluyole State government and the Society Development Agency for the initiative, noting that it is a timely intervention which in part will go beyond material aid, but also offer a sense of hope and emotional support to those in need.
A well commendable initiative. You can see our people, they are happy, and you can see the joy in their faces. The program is a timely program. This is a Christmas time, and you can see what they give them, money and food. So many of them, we keep the food till Christmas time. Many of them, we keep the money. So that is why I said the program is timely.
Some of the beneficiaries appreciated the Oluyole State Governor, Engineer Seyi Makinde, and the agency for the support provided.
Government has been taking care of us, and I'm still imploring government to still take care of us, especially we widows.
Attendees of the program included a close ally of the Oluyole State Governor, Honorable Babatunde Tijani, popularly known as Double T, Oluyole State PDP women leader, Alaja Wolimot Ibitoye, and targeted beneficiaries. Oluwatumise, Oluwajimi, BCS News.
Experts have advised drivers to consistently obey traffic rules, as flaunting them could result in accidents. Chairman and Chief Executive Officer, Oluyole State Road Transport Management Authority, Major Adekoya Adeshagba, and a safety expert, Dr. Niran Adeleye, gave this view while featuring on the BCOS TV Current Affairs Breakfast Program, AM 120. Our reporter, Providence Onu, monitored the program and compiled this report.
Of Oluyole local government has organized a vocational training and empowerment for the youths in Oluyole local government area of the state. The youths are expected to receive certificates, professional equipment, and a sum of 50,000 naira each to help them execute the knowledge gained. While addressing the participants, the Deputy Governor of Oyo State, Barrister Oluyole, commended the chairman of Oluyole local government, Engineer Akim Olatunji, for complimenting the effort of the state government in spreading the dividends of democracy to people at grassroots. Barrister Oluyole urged the beneficiaries of the empowerment program to make judicious use of the knowledge acquired in the training for the advancement of the state.
Iṣẹ́ alálùbáríkà la fi ṣe, iṣẹ́ tó ṣe mú yangàn tí ó tún pèsè nǹkan ríbiríbi fún wa láti tẹ̀síwájú, Ọlọ́run ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ fún wa.
The Speaker of the Oyo State House of Assembly, Honorable Adebo Ogundoyin, also lauded the council board for its giant strides towards the advancement of Oluyole local government.
This is exactly what we've come to do here, and we're just, concluding our own part of the program.
Experts have advised drivers to consistently obey traffic rules, as flouting them could result in accidents. Chairman and Chief Executive Officer, Oyo State Road Transport Management Authority, Major Adekoya Adeshagba, and a safety expert, Dr. Niron Adeleye, gave this view while featuring on the BCOS TV Current Affairs Breakfast Program, AM 120. Our reporter, Providence Onu, monitored the program and compiled this report.
As observed and reported by U.S. Embassy and Consulate in Nigeria, criminal activities in Nigeria, such as theft and kidnapping for ransom, increased significantly during the December holiday season. This is not unconnected to people's evil desire to acquire immediate wealth to enable them paint their villages red whenever they travel back home for the festive celebration. These criminals take advantage of increased travel and shopping to target victims, while speaking on the possible ways the innocent citizens can increase their situational awareness. Retired Colonel Adebayo Ajayi implored all and sundry to shun the act of extravagant spending, avoid predictable routines, and observe the plate number of public buses before boarding such vehicles.
Maybe you are living there, but you are going to Ikili or you are going to Lagos. Make sure that at least you have a police station address, that a telephone number that is on your phone that you can always call in case of emergency.
In an advice, the ex-police chief, Eze Harrison, implored the Nigeria security forces to tighten the security of the country as people go about celebrating Your Tooth.
It's a thing that we don't want it to happen in the society, even this period. So we are using this medium to call on the government and the security agencies to see to it that the security system is beefed up. Let there be strategical positioning of the security operatives in different places, like in public places, hotels, and so on and so forth, so that we'll be able to have a safe period of festivals.
Dido or retired Colonel Ajayi and Erinze expressed confidence in government in safeguarding the lives and properties of the citizens against attacks.
Apologies for the mix-up in that story. The wife of the Oyo State Governor, Engineer Tamunominini Makinde, has called on women to embrace the spirit of the Yuletide season by caring for their neighbors and spreading love, rather than seeing it as merely a time for celebration. Engineer Makinde made the call during the end-of-year party organized for women in Oyo State at the Government House, Agodi, Ibadan. Our reporter, Adeola Oladile, covered the event. Her report is presented by Victor Opone.
In the spirit of the Yuletide season, the atmosphere at the Government House, Agodi Ibadan, was filled with excitement as women from various parts of Oyo State gathered to celebrate the end of the year with the First Lady, Engineer Tamunominini Makinde. Delivering her address, Engineer Makinde urged women to prioritize compassion, love, and support for one another as hallmarks of the festive period. She noted that the season offers an opportunity for reflection and collective care.
Please take time to share with your neighbor the little thing you have. There is nothing too small to give or share. I also want to say that find time to relax, share a memorable moment with your children, your loved ones, but in all your sharing and pleasant treats to take care of yourself.
As part of the celebration, the First Lady oversaw the distribution of cash gifts, 180 bags of rice, and 135 bottles of vegetable oil to women representatives from local government areas across the state and other women organizations. Speaking with newsmen, the wife of the Egbeda local government chairman, Monsurat Sanda, commended engineer Tamuno Minini Makede for her unwavering support for women and children in the state, particularly her efforts to extend the initiatives to the grassroots.
I want to first of all thank our mother, Engineer Mrs. Aminomini Olufunke Makinde. She has been a wonderful woman, an exemplary leader, because she has cared for women and children as a whole in Oyo State. To hug my fellow women, please, let's cut our coats according to our material. Don't let's overdo things, because after December, there is lots more to do.
Some beneficiaries expressed their gratitude to the First Lady for the thoughtful gifts, stating that the items would be a source of relief during this period.
Appreciate her for celebrating the women of Oyo State during this Christmas festive. She has put smile into so many people's life to make them celebrate Christmas and make this Christmas be a blessed one for us.
We will always be grateful unto her for considering us at all times.
The end of year party was graced by the head of service, Mrs. Olubumi, commissioners and other dignitaries.
The Lagos-Ibadan Expressway near Kara Bridge was on lockdown in the early hours of today following a multiple vehicle crash. The incident involving trucks claimed the life of an unidentified adult male, while numerous motorists were caught in the ensuing gridlock. The crash was said to have occurred at approximately 3 a.m. outward Lagos. Emergency responders, including personnel from the Lagos State Emergency Management Agency, LASEMA, the Federal Road Safety Corps, FRSC, the Nigerian Police, and the Lagos State Traffic Management Authority, LASMA, were on the scene to restore normalcy. The Permanent Secretary of LASEMA, Dr. Olufemi Oke Osoitolu, who was also at the scene, explained that an articulated truck driver, in a bid to avoid collision with a 40-foot container on the road, lost control and the truck overturned, pouring its cargo of steel coals onto the carriageway. The obstructions and wreckage had been cleared and the road reopened to traffic as at press time.
On the foreign scene, South Korea's impeached president Yoon Suk-yeol failed to appear before the country's corruption watchdog today after he was summoned for questioning over his martial law bid. Yoon was stripped of his duties by Parliament over the weekend following his short-lived December 3 martial law declaration, which plunged the country into its worst political turmoil in decades. Investigators from the Corruption Investigation Office, CIO, had summoned him to their facility in suburban Seoul for questioning over charges of insurrection and abuse of power. Yoon's legal team, however, said he did not commit insurrection and has vowed to fight the charge in court. A CIO statement said Yoon's no-show today will be considered a failure to comply with the first summons. Investigators said while they were considering dispatching a second summons, CIO chief Oh Dong-woon told Parliament that they were also reviewing whether to issue an arrest warrant.
Malaysia's Foreign Minister Mohammed Hassan will be issued a fine for puffing a cigarette in a non-smoking area. The country's health minister said this today in a statement. He added that the foreign minister himself wanted to be issued a fine for the offense. Recall that earlier this week, Health Minister Zulkifli Ahmed reposted a photo of foreign minister smoking at a street-side eatery in the Malaysian state of Negri Sembilan. Smoking in all eateries and restaurants was declared illegal in Malaysia in 2019, and further strict measures were introduced in October this year. Under Malaysian law, people caught smoking in prohibited areas can face a fine of up to 5,000 ringgits. However, Foreign Minister Mohammed has apologized today, adding that he received a violation notice from health authorities, but that the fine amount was not yet determined.
To end this edition of Newscope, here again are the top stories. President Bola Tinubu has presented a 47.9 trillion naira 2025 budget proposal today before a joint session of the National Assembly.
The federal government says it will establish a youth bank to offer loans, grants, and other financial products to support young entrepreneurs.
Over 12,000 people across Oluyole State are to benefit from the psychosocial support program for vulnerable people organized by the Oluyole State Community and Social Development Agency, OYCSDA, under the Nigeria Community Action for Resilience and Economic Stimulus, NGCAS.
And on the foreign scene, South Korea's impeached president, Yoon Suk-yeol, failed to appear before the country's corruption watchdog today after he was summoned for questioning over his martial law bid.
That's all from the Newscope desk. It was packaged by Mary Adedakpo and delivered by
Oluyole. Good evening.
Enido Shekoni. Thanks for listening, and don't forget to tune in for the Yoruba version at 8 p.m. Good evening.
The news.
ètò kan ọ̀rọ̀tọ̀ tó tún gún wá sí kánì Olúyọ̀lé 98.5 FM káyé mọ̀.
òṣùpá wọn tún ti gbọ́dún tó dùn dé o ẹ̀rẹ̀mẹ̀tẹ̀ ó ti yá fàájì làwà yóò gbẹ̀dẹ̀ mú ká.
káyé mọ̀ lẹ́tọ̀ tẹ́ mọ gbọ́ ní kánì Olúyọ̀lé 98.5 FM ní gbogbo ọjọ́ àlàmísì Thursday láàrin aago 5 sí aago 5 àbọ̀ ọ̀sọ̀ọ̀sẹ̀. káyé mọ̀ lẹ́tọ̀ tẹ́ ti máa mọ bó ṣe ń lọ lẹ́ka múlùdùn lóríṣiríṣi láàrin àwọn òṣèré adẹ́rìn-pòṣónú olórin agbóhùnsáfẹ́fẹ́ àtàwọn míì tẹ́ ẹ bá fẹ́ mọ̀ nípa wọn. káyé mọ̀ lẹ́ẹ̀tì máa mọ̀ abala méjì lẹ́tọ̀ káyé mọ̀ pín sí o. abala àkọ́kọ́ níbi ọ̀rọ̀ abala yìí láti máa sọ̀tàn nípa gbajúgbajà àwọn amúlùdùn wa gbogbo. abala kejì labala àlejò lẹ́ka múlùdùn lóríṣiríṣi. ẹ lè pè dá sétò pẹ̀lú Àjàgbé Sodiq bàbá sẹ̀kẹ̀ndùgbẹ̀ lẹ́wọ̀n máa pàdé ní gbogbo ọjọ́ Thursday láàrin aago 5 sí aago 5 àbọ̀ lọ́sọ̀ọ̀sẹ̀. lẹ́ka múlùdùn wa ó yẹ káyé mọ̀.
kéré o ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ ló pàrokò ìbéèrè ránṣẹ́ sí yín ká lè jọmọ bó ṣe ń lọ. wọ́n ní ǹjẹ́ ẹ mọ̀ pé ní báyìí ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ ńlá ni kéèyàn já yanrìn wọ́rọ̀kúta ọparun òkúta lílà àtàwọn èròjà àkọlé sójú pópó. ṣé ẹ mọ̀ pé ẹ̀yìn àmọ̀ kì í ṣe léègbín bẹ́ẹ̀ gẹ́gẹ́ lójú pópó kì í ṣàyè ìgbọ́kọ̀ tó ti godó sí. bóyá lẹ mọ̀ pé ìwà ìbìkítà wọ̀nyí ló ń sọ àwọn òpópónà tó fẹ̀ dáadáa di tórótó ṣàkóbá fún lílọ bíbọ̀ gerege ọkọ̀. àníṣẹ́ àṣà pálapàla ìlòkulò àwọn ọ̀nà tíjọba fowó gọbọi ṣe ló ń ṣokùnfà ìdíbàjẹ́ wọn láìtọ́jọ́ tó sì ń gbọ́n owó tùlù tó yẹ kó lọ sórí ìpèsè àwọn ohun amáyédẹrùn míì lọ lákòótó ọba. bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ẹ wá gbọ́ àjèjì ọwọ́ kan ò gbẹ́rù dórí níjọba ṣe fẹ́ kẹ́ ẹ gbárùkù ti òun fún ìrànlọ́wọ́ ara wa pé ká ní àyípadà ọkàn sí bá a ṣe ń lo dúkìá ìlú ká má bàa farakátà òfin tó tayéye. àjẹ́ pé ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ń kọ́lé lọ́wọ́ nírònà àtàbádẹ́kọ́lé gan-an tẹ́ ẹ kúrò jíjá èròjà ìkọ́lé sójú pópó ẹ̀yà ajẹ́kórókè fáǹfààní mùtúmùwà tó ń lo òpópónà. kékulé ó gbọ́ ó sọ fún toko kánò ó gbọ́ kóròyìn fóbẹ̀ pé láti àkókò yìí lọ ìjọba bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí fi ọwọ́ ṣẹ̀kún òfin tó gbóná girigiri mú ẹni yòówù tó bá já ìlò kọ́lé tàbí gbé òkú ọkọ̀ sójú títì ṣe ìdíwọ́ fún ìjágeere lílọ bíbọ̀ ọkọ̀. torí náà ẹ wá gbo dẹ́kun fún ìwà àìlákàsí ẹ bọ̀wọ̀ fófin àlàáfíà àyíká àti tìrìnnà lójú pópó káwùjọ wa lè dùn